Now I'd like to introduce Rabbi Mitchel Malkus, who's the headmaster for the Charles E. Smith Jewish Day School. Mitch?
Thank you, Ron, and the JCRC. And I also want to thank all of the public officials who have spoken today. It means a lot, all of your words, so thank you. I'm going to speak as a rabbi first and a head of school. This past Monday morning marked the start of the Hebrew month of Adar, a time of happiness in the Jewish calendar. The ancient sages offered a dictum that Misha nichnas Adar marbim besimcha. When Adar enters, our joy increases. And in fact, that's what was occurring at both of our campuses this Monday morning. Students in the lower school were welcomed as music was playing, and students in our upper school had gathered for an assembly in the auditorium. That sense of joy was shattered quickly as the upper school campus of the Charles E. Smith Jewish Day School received a threatening phone call warning of a bomb in our facility and promising destruction to Jewish souls. CSJDS is not the first school to receive such a threat, and it was not the only school in our community or the only community center affected on Monday. Day schools across the country from coast to coast, along with other Jewish institutions and other faith institutions, were targeted with bomb threats. As you can imagine, this has a significant effect on all those school communities and on all those students. I wanted to share the individual impact of the threat that we received with the knowledge that this type of threat has already had a similar impact on over 100 Jewish institutions since January 1st of this year. I also want to acknowledge that other faith groups, including our Muslim friends, received similar threats the day after the threat to our school. So what is the disruption? Students who had sat down to study the ancient texts of our tradition and others who were learning about gene therapy in their high school genetics class received an emotional shock that someone wanted to blow up their school. Parents who had begun their work days instantly felt their hearts sink as they received the news that their most precious children were in immediate danger. Faculty and staff were thrust into positions that challenged them to show their students immediate care, demonstrate calmness, and at the same time hold the very real feeling that an explosion might take place in our school. Beyond this feeling, the staff and administration spent countless hours responding to parents, community members, and the media. What should have been the ushering in of the joyous month of Adar in our school became just the opposite, a feeling of dread that is accompanied by physical threat. The month of Adar has its climax when Jews celebrate the holiday of Purim and read from the book of Esther. That book tells the story about the Jews of a country called Persia that are threatened with annihilation because their customs are different than those of the king. Yet the story becomes turned on its head when the plot of the king's advisor, Haman, is squelched by Esther and Mordechai. The text of the book of Esther recounts that V'hafochu v'chodesh asher na'afoch lahem me'yagon l'simcha u'me'evel le'yom tov. The month was transformed from one of grief and mourning to a time of joy and one of light. I am here to condemn the bomb threat to our school and all of the bomb threats across our country, to call on our local and national authorities to do everything in their power to find the culprits and to bring them to justice, to enable faith communities across the United States to practice religion freely. But I'm also here to give thanks. I have personally experienced and have heard over and over again that our elected officials condemn these acts in the strongest terms, and that they're committed to protecting our community and ensuring our free exercise of religion. I've also seen dedicated and professional members of the Rockville and Montgomery County Police Department respond immediately to the threat at my school. And our school has received an outpouring of hundreds of emails from elected officials, national and local community organizations, and hundreds of concerned citizens across the country. These are the lights of joy that held us up in a difficult moment. and which give me hope that our community and our country will move forward from this difficult time. Just as the Jews of Persia turned sorrow into joy, we will turn these threats into safety, security, and unity. We will uphold the values of the United States as a beacon of light in a difficult time, a sometimes very difficult world. Thank you.